evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special Easter edition of Howling About Entertainment, coming to you on this April 4th, 2021.
Always late on this, Ironcaster.
I know, man. We are so happy to be here this evening. Do a quick around the horn, say hello to today's panelists. Fenrir, the Ice Wolf. How are you this evening?
To all of you. Happy Easter to all of you. Kong rules. Fuck the results of the battle. But movie was awesome, but Kong rules it all. That's why he's the king of all or now.
All right. And he is not just another red shirt. He is our red shirt. How are you this afternoon, my fellow Texan?
I'm doing very well this afternoon. Our weather here has been gorgeous. I'm enjoying the weekend. And it's been very quiet here because Mrs. Redshirt is out of town. So no festivities or anything going on here today. But it's been a nice, relaxing weekend, which I appreciate.
Oh, it's always nice. And you guys have gotten to know him. You love him. It's the man, Ironcaster. How are you, brother?
Oh, not too bad. I was out in the yard doing some burning, cleaning things up. Oh, it was pretty good. Had a tree getting turned to dirt out there.
Oh, good thing that wasn't going on during the stream.
You should have made a video.
I don't know if you've heard one of them wood chippers, Fenrir, but those fuckers are loud.
Oh, yeah.
I've only seen videos about them. I've never actually seen one on front.
Oh, yeah.
The industrial strength ones are amazing.
Oh man, yeah, they're wonderful. They really, really are. My neighbor, he was using one of the one of the kind of light units, and must have not been particularly good because he got like a normal size branch, clogged the damn thing up. I felt bad for the guy. All right, let's say a quick hello to who is in the chat, and we have got the man really without a name, Robert for now, but God knows what his name will be in 5 minutes. Good to see you, Robert. Glad that you're here. All right. Lord Thoth, unable to join the panel tonight, but he is with us here in spirit because he's got a teleconference dinner this evening, man. Good to see you, my friend. Pablo from Ecuador, our good buddy Geek Tropology. It is good to see you, my friend. I'm glad that you were able to take a break from the hub to watch the stream. We all appreciate that. And Mary G says, hail and happy Easter. And by God, it is our favorite battery-driven Croatian Senshin Dildo. It is good to have you here, my friend. Our multi-speed friend. Mike B, good to see you, brother. Glad that you made it. And we appreciate that you are here with us, my friend. We hope that you'll stick around. It is, it's our Sunday evening thing here. Kind of get everybody warmed up for the Inquisition later. Although I don't know that we're going to have an Inquisition tonight because I know Gary is on the road. He is heading back west out of southern Texas right now, so we may or may not be having an Inquisition tonight. I guess we'll see. All right. Oh, it is a good show. I enjoy the hell out of it, man. But dude, we are not gonna fucking bury the lead here. We need to go into like the very first thing that I really want to talk about is that the box office results for Godzilla versus Kong. All right. So let's remember to set the stage here a little bit, guys, right? So we've been in this whole, fucking everything's closed for a year for the most part. I mean, various parts of the country have various different things open. Various parts of the world have various different things open. But at the end of the day, there are very few locations on the entire planet that you can truly say are 100% open right now. Notably, the markets in California and New York and Illinois, which are major drivers for U.S. domestic box office. You look to the north in Canada, there are some provinces in Canada that are back in full lockdown right now, and even Europe's seeing a bit more of a crunch. Fenrir, I'm sure you can speak to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, so overall, you look around and it's like, things are still not open. Even at the theater that I went to see this movie last night, I believe the theater was sold out technically, but it was only half occupied because they're putting 2 seats in between any group of folks that buy
Same
tickets.
thing on mine.
Yeah. So it was sold out, but sold out was 50% capacity. So you got to keep all of this shit in mind when you look at Godzilla v. Kong dropped 48.5 for its opening weekend domestically here in the States. And it is racking up to over 285 million globally already in about 10 days of global release. This is just fucking phenomenal. And who would have thought that it would be that you needed Godzilla to beat the Coof? So what do you guys think? What's your take on this, man? I mean, I don't even know what to think.
Would have thought to defeat a creation of bad times given by the Chinese, you need a Japanese giant monster.
Right?
Yeah, I would have thought.
Don't forget the biggest American star out there.
Ah, yes, the Great Kong.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I definitely think that some of this is free at last sentiment, and people are like, I can go to the theater and there's a movie that I'd want to watch. And I think that's pulling a lot of people in. And that's why, like you said, JD, they were sold out of all the seats they were willing to fill. And I don't expect that that's going to end after this weekend. I expect that to go on for some time. And then the question will be, if word of mouth on this movie is as good as that I've heard so far, I suspect this is going to be probably a candidate for the highest grossing film of 2021.
You will see, I mean, that's a fair call out there, man. That wouldn't shock me, to be honest with you. I don't know, what do you think, Ironcaster? You think this thing might have the legs to be the highest grosser this year?
Oh, that's hard to say, considering we still don't know what Black Widow's going to be doing here in a couple months. I mean, I'm not really feeling excited about it, and I think there's quite a few people that are definitely feeling some Marvel fatigue. But this is a movie that I do think is going to have a good, strong tail to it. That it's going to be that next week we're going to be hearing some good words about more people came out to see this movie. Because everyone's just hearing that, hey, it's a good movie, and I think that we're gonna see people coming out again next week. I've heard a few people who have been wanting to, who saw this on streaming and then now want to go and see this thing in the movies. I mean, Culture Casino was saying that.
Yeah, and Geek Tropology, our good buddy down there in Ecuador, he's saying, look, he's already paid for one movie theater ticket to go see this, and he's tempted to do it again. I enjoyed Godzilla versus Kong. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to repeat view in the theater because I can turn it on HBO Max, but I might watch it again. It was a decent kaiju movie.
Yeah, I think I might be willing to do that myself. I caught it on HBO Max and I want to get out of the house, so that's always something I have in my back pocket now I can do.
Do you have theaters open near you, Ironcaster? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there's about there's a couple of the NCG cinemas and a Cinemark near me, so I've got a few options.
Fair enough, man. So Mary G says it's funny that a movie with such horrible acting can earn so much. only Kong, Godzilla, Vigilante Williamson, and the little girl could act.
That's about the size of it.
Well, people were there for the fight, not for the acting, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, You don't go to this movie for the Oscar performances of the acting.
Wait a minute. You're excusing this way too much. The acting in this is not merely not up to the standards of an Academy Award. The acting in this is on the standard of a high school play.
Hey man, I was in high school plays.
So was I.
I resent that.
That's why I recognize it.
Oh come on! I used to write a few plays myself, and they were shit, literally shit. You could literally, if you brought a critic on one of those, it would be his Monte Cristo. He would crush us all like nothing, like there was no tomorrow. This isn't the worst possible way of acting. Trust me.
Oh no, it's not the worst possible, but it was a lot of this movie, and it irritated the heck out of me. And I stayed with it because I knew there had to be a big battle coming up, and that was what kept me watching. I was satisfied with that. That the battles at the end, I loved. So I could see this going either way, but I appear to be very much in the minority on this movie. So more power to them. I hope they make a ton of money.
Buzzcut Girl was too horrendous to overlook, says the commenter formerly known as Robert.
Yes.
You know, I feel like I need to ask: has there been any Godzilla movie where people like the humans? Because that's what you always hear with every movie: is the humans sucked in this movie. I just want to see the monsters.
I don't think there ever was.
Bryan Cranston in what he was in the 2014 one. The first one in the legendary kaiju.
But even then, the argument became, well, then he dies and then you stop caring about anyone.
Yeah. But I mean, you asked for one, I gave you one.
Okay.
Be careful what you ask for.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I like Geek Tripology, man. He's saying China must be loving this movie because they destroyed Hong Kong faster than CNN in elections. And actually, yes, China is loving this movie. China itself is going to hit 100 million by the end of next weekend. So yeah, it's crushing it in China, Pablo.
Look, maybe this is just a nerd within me, but I still think it would have been better if the fight ended in either Tokyo or Detroit or New York. Preferably Detroit, because in the end of the battle, we wouldn't see much of a difference.
You needed to get that out before Vigilante Williamson showed up, didn't you?
Oh. Dude, it was when we were watching that movie, we walked out of there and the girlfriend was telling me she thought that the podcaster conspiracy theory guy just reminded her of V-Dub like fucking crazy. She said she couldn't stop thinking about V-Dub when she saw that guy.
Trust me, it couldn't have been him. He would have never taken off his mask for such a mediocre thing.
That's right.
That's true.
All this talking to Detroit, I feel like I had to put a little something on.
Oop, I'm gonna need to switch my headphones. My wireless are about to run out of battery. You guys vamp for a minute while I do that. Hang on.
So, what do we think is coming next for this series? Do you think they're going to bring in Pacific Rim?
It's possible. Maybe they'll buy the rights. Next thing we're going to see Godzilla versus the Jaegers or Kong versus Gypsy Avenger or something. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. So that's a good question, Mike. What do you guys? What else has really got a solid chance of competing? I think we've got a solid potential competitor in Mortal Kombat coming out in 2 weeks. That's just 10 days from now.
So I see them competing perfectly with Kong and Godzilla, but I still think a lot of people are going to drop both because they did not give us Johnny. A lot of people. Johnny has one of the biggest fan bases in the entire Mortal Kombat franchise. He's an asshole, but he's an asshole that is lovable.
Well,
people love an asshole.
I wouldn't disagree with that. But I think Mortal Kombat has got a good chance of beating this out. I mean, any of you guys think that Black Widow is going to do all that particularly well?
Yeah. Depends of how it comes out. If we're talking about a Mulan kind of deal, then no. But if they're smart, if by some miracle they become smart and don't fuck this up like every single thing they've ever done, then no. That maybe I don't fucking know. It's Disney. There's not much hope there.
Yeah, and Mike's got a good list here, man. We do have Matrix 4 coming out. I don't think that one's going to do all that well, honestly.
Oh, Mike, drop the Snake Eyes movie. No one's going to watch that.
Yeah,
they've insulted the character, the fans. They literally picked a guy just because he's Asian, which is actually more racist because it just says only Asians can be martial artists and ninjas and shit. God, the racism is just
and Snake Eyes very much was not. You got Spider-Man coming out. We got another Mission Impossible coming out. Now, Ghostbusters, that one is one on my list. I know that.
Agree.
Dude.
I agree.
Oh,
I've seen the trailer for that.
Yeah, I was pissed when they didn't give it to us last. It was supposed to have been out around probably last year, right?
June, I think, last year originally. So, I mean, that's one, dude. I got goosebumps when I saw the first teaser trailer that Reitman put out on that one, and we didn't see jack shit. You just got some creepy Ghostbusters sounding music, and the camera moves into a barn, and the car cover on the Ecto 1 blows up, and you see the license plate. That was the whole fucking trailer, and it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, and just because of that, I literally bought a ton of DVDs of the whole cartoons, read a ton of comic books, literally just to see the whole movie. I mean, I was hoping them to bring some of the lore there or something. Because, I mean, the Ghostbusters lore is big.
Yeah, I'm surprised how wide that merchandise is gone, because they released a new toy line for the Ghostbusters, and I see them in every store I go now. Like, every Target, every Myers, every Walmart has Ghostbusters toys.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
I haven't been looking yet. I didn't realize they'd had a bunch out already.
Yeah, I think there's like a Build-A-Figure where you get the main four Ghostbusters, then you get the dog.
Okay.
Yeah, the first full trailer is the one that I saw, and it had a really wonderful moment in it. It's literally a second. At one point, you see the characters walk past a bust of Egon, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I looked at it and I went, okay, this is an homage to the original Ghostbusters. This I want to see. So I am psyched to see that. Probably the movie on that list that I am the most interested in seeing.
Yeah.
Even more than Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
Well, now the Top Gun I'm looking forward to too, and I mean Top Gun's got legit ability to pull in a wide crowd. I think, man. I mean, you're gonna get all the boomer wives who loved the volleyball scene back in the day. You're gonna get all of the suburban wine moms because they all still love Tom Cruise. And you're going to get guys like me. You're going to get guys like my old man who, my pops, I remember when I was a kid, when he got his first surround sound system, he used to show off this system that he was so proud of in the living room. He would turn Top Gun on. Right. Mm-hmm. And that opening scene with, when you got Danger Zone and all the planes are getting ready to take off on the carrier and you hear them going by you with the, it's like, so you get guys like that are going to be stoked about Top Gun. So, I mean, that one's got legit potential to have good legs as long as it doesn't get bad word of mouth.
Well, that also has as a potential audience about 90% of the current personnel in the United States Navy, both current and retired. Because cousin, I have a cousin who was a Rio, and he actually attended Top Gun school as a radar intercept officer. And let me tell you, that movie was all he talked about after it came out. That was really popular in Norfolk, Virginia, where my grandparents, my parents at the time lived. That that has a broad reach. Just to put it in perspective, though, King Kong first appeared on a movie screen in 1933.
God, was it 33?
Yes.
33?
My father was a year old when King Kong came out, the original movie. And the original Godzilla movies are from the 50s. So you have every demographic potentially interested in a Kong Godzilla franchise or movie. And I'm not surprised that it can draw from every age bracket. And
don't forget
Top Gun is a good one, but I don't think it's bigger than the potential audience. I mean, the nostalgia factor of somebody who remembers watching Godzilla as a man in a rubber suit and getting to see CGI of him has got to be a draw.
Dude, I mean, one thing you cannot knock in Godzilla versus Kong was the CGI was the shit. It was good. I mean, I didn't doubt for a second that was a giant fucking gorilla on this giant theater screen I was watching. And Godzilla looked perfectly real, man. I mean, the CG in this movie was top notch. If it doesn't get a nod for visual effects, that's robbery.
Yeah. And there was one scene where I think it was the final face down before the big final fight began between Kong and Godzilla. It's somewhere in there. The camera is looking straight on at Godzilla's face. He's looking straight into your point of view, and he's looking into the camera like you owe him money. And I'm like, that looks like something I don't want to walk into in a dark alley.
I mean, Kong's face was very expressive.
Yep.
I mean, does anybody know, did they do any kind of like motion capture to overlay the CG for these guys, or was it purely computer generated? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I'd be curious. See, there's our man Ironcaster doing yeoman's work with Google. I can see it. I'd be curious, man, because Kong's face was very expressive. It was good, very good visual effects work on this movie. Hands down. I mean, again, if this thing doesn't at least get a nod from the Academy for the visual effects,
yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, it's not like there's a whole lot of competition out there anyway. So this thing, I think, is definitely going to be earning some nods for that.
Yeah, yeah, and so we got some decent stuff coming. Mary G says she was interested in Top Gun, but she's really hoping that it doesn't go woke. And if Cruise is largely in control, which I think he is, Top Gun might be safe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's a 50-50 situation. It might be safe, it might not. Let's just wait and see, because who knows anymore in these crazy times.
Well, he's kept it out of Mission Impossible.
Yes, he has.
Well, I mean, it is worth pointing out that they did make some changes for China. They got rid of the Taiwan flag from the jacket.
Did they?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, that's a small item, and quite frankly, that's understandable, because that's been a bone of contention for 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
If they downplayed a character in editing, because they didn't think the Chinese would like that character, that would be different. I would say that's something worth complaining about.
Yeah,
but
Mike Beat, dude, I am with you on this one, man. Dude, Space Jam is gonna be a giant fucking flop. It's not gonna be anything like the Jordan original, because LeBron.
Look, it literally looks like
no
it looks
MJ,
like a
buddy.
mess.
No.
I mean, and he even took a shot at Will Smith and all that. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Will Smith's
Nah,
passing
man.
through a lot worse shit than you.
Yeah, Mike
And I
says
mean,
he's seen.
the original one was against a bunch of aliens. This is against a bunch of computer codes and stuff.
Yeah, and they got.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know, and it was it Don Cheadle I saw in the trailer.
Yeah, he's the main villain king.
Yeah,
I don't know. They should have just brought back the old villains for that, and it just
Why
doesn't
not?
really have the same appeal. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go for it, you might as well go ahead and bring back the head of Moron Mountain. I mean, that was a fun villain.
Or they could have used Acme as the villain.
Yeah, just Acme. That would have been good. But no. They got it as. I mean, I don't even know what this villain is supposed to be, but I've seen the full new trailer on Space Jam now. I have zero interest in this. I mean, just none at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
the controversy over Speedy Gonzalez is not enough to get me to go see this movie.
Yeah. Although Speedy got his own poster.
Yes, he did.
That's as close as you're going to get to an apology.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, Pablo makes a good point here, man. He says the new Ghostbusters trailer made him want to see it. When after 2016, he was never interested in that property again. And that should tell you how good it is. And dude, I am 100% with you, man. That teaser by itself was enough to just say, okay, I'm in. and I mean, love Paul Rudd. That dude's just one of the most likable guys in Hollywood. And looks like he's got a decent role in this. I'm in, man. Give me Ghostbusters. What's up?
Yeah, but still talking about Space Jam, they really should have done Acme as the villains. I mean, this is an organization that sells weapons to animals. They would have been the perfect villains.
Especially coyotes, right?
Yes. Giant slingshots and rocket-powered roller skates.
Wile E. Coyote.
Missiles.
Super genius.
Seriously, they would have been perfect.
Dude, that's
and they could have taken a shot at corporate America right there.
They could have. They could have even got woke points for it, for God's sake.
Yep.
And it wouldn't have pissed off fans of the classic Warner Brothers properties. Acme was always bad.
Must have a hell of a refund policy, though.
There ain't any. No refunds, no returns.
Oh shit, man. Dude, it's like a bunch of guys thinking about it for 60 seconds have come up with better ideas than what we're getting on screen in this new Space Jam reboot. That by itself should tell you that by itself should tell you how shitty it's going to be.
Yes.
I like Mike's idea there.
What's that? What do we got here?
Make it a contract dispute between Acme and the two.
Oh, fuck. That would have been good. That would have been good.
That would have been amazing.
Payments coming due for Wile E. Coyote. And he hasn't been paying his...
Yeah. And make Christopher Lloyd the lawyer representing Acme.
Oh, God.
With the head of Acme voiced by Danny DeVito.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
There's no refunds.
Dude.
Either Danny DeVito or Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, Gottfried.
Oh. One of them should have played the secret Acme CEO, the new one who was taking control and making everything do evil stuff. One of them should have played him.
Yeah, Mary G says you can't get a refund from Acme because they've already blown you up.
Yes.
Oh, dear me. Pablo, I don't want to risk getting the stream nuked by reading that out loud. Oh, God. Oh, okay, yeah, what a great villain voice, like Danny DeVito and Gilbert Gottfried.
But be honest,
Ah,
Pablo is
you're
not wrong.
good.
Pablo's not wrong. China does make a lot of shots. Acme wouldn't be surprising. What's that?
Yeah, Ascension Dildo says LeBron's charisma will carry Space Jam.
Well, Geek Tripology, we certainly know that if you could find an Acme product today and turn it over, we all know where the made by would say.
Yes, that's fair
Made
enough.
made in. Yes, that's an easy one.
Oh man, yeah. Small time make says
Haru?
Tom Cruise isn't going to put anything out of that alienates anybody, and I'm with them on that. I'm going on with Rajesh Taylor on Tuesday. We're going to be talking Tropic Thunder, and I was looking through some stuff about that, and they were mentioning Cruise. So a little interesting fact on that: the Les Grossman character was Cruise's idea in that movie. So he was originally going to be McConaughey's part of the agent. And him and Stiller came up with this better idea of that Les Grossman producer character. So that's like all, Tom Cruise's little brainchild. And to me, it's one of the best roles he ever played. That fat suit, and he's that little dance scene at the end. So yeah, I mean, that all came from Cruise. I agree. I don't think Cruise is going to let that kind of shit get in the way of the monetary success of what he's working on. I mean, when he went ape shit on the crew at Mission Impossible a couple months ago, right?
That's what I was going to mention.
So he wants a good product out there. He doesn't want anything get in the way of that. So I tend to agree. That's why we haven't seen this shit in Mission Impossible, and why I don't think we're going to get it in Top Gun. Plus, I mean, come on, if you start going woke as hell in a military movie, I mean, that's just not going to work.
Yeah, no.
Oh shit, brightest day. Acme Board of Directors, Gilbert Gottfried, Danny DeVito, Bobcat Goldthwait, Carrot Top, and Fran Drescher.
Oh my God, this could have worked
So the Carrot Top will be chairman of the board was not Acme.
Oh, Jesus.
It's been so perfect.
Fran Drescher is going to have to be the PR rep, though. Like, she's going to be given the press conferences.
Yes.
Can you imagine a more grating corporate spokesperson than Fran Drescher, like full on in her The Nanny role?
Roseanne.
Oh, God.
May I say that I would have been a perfect movie.
Never go full Acme. Yeah, I want to dance and have fat hands, Tom Cruise. Yep. Dude, look at this. Great minds think alike. They literally dropped that at the exact same time. Yeah, Tom Cruise already has one religion that he's committed to. That's fair. Maybe that's what helps keep the woke out of his shit. A feminist Top Gun would be Captain Marvel without the passable parts.
Yeah, and don't forget all the gay lesbian tension between the main character and her black co-pilot.
Yeah.
It's all the huge
I'm
tension.
Geek Tripology, I must have missed that. What were the passable parts?
The sentient dildo? I don't know.
I mean, what were the passable parts of Captain Marvel? I mean, I have never heard anybody mention one.
The credits.
There are
The credits. It's over. Yes, there you go.
The Marvel intro in the very, very beginning was totally good.
Gentlemen, right now I'm watching something.
Wait, you're now Fenrir, you did just watch History of the World Part 1 for the first time this past week or so, right?
Yes.
All right. And Spaceballs, right?
Well, not yet, as I may.
Have you
Gladly
not
report.
seen it?
He hasn't seen Spaceballs yet.
No,
I have not seen
He hasn't.
Spaceballs yet, no.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. Now, have you been able to find History of the World Part
Kick 'em.
2 yet, Fenrir?
I have not been able to locate that.
Keep looking. It's worth it.
Oh, there's just such gold in that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta say, from the second Mad Max movie, when Max takes the shotgun back and breaks it open and loads a shell in it because it's been empty the whole time it was held on him, and the gyrocopter pilot looks at him and goes, "That's low." That's you guys.
We ain't found shit.
That's right. Comb the desert, buddy. Yeah. Oh, the 3 seconds where Nick Fury and Coulson were introduced. That was a passable moment in Captain Marvel, guys. See, come on. There's at least a few seconds worth watching in the movie.
Every second without Brie or Brian the Man Larson is passable.
You know what?
Now,
That means, JT, that means you could show all the good bits of Captain Marvel on a stream without getting struck.
hey, now there's an editing challenge. Let's condense Captain Marvel into a watchable movie and see if we can do it and play the whole thing without a copyright strike. I bet you could.
I gave you
My
about
editing
20.
software might actually let me put that one together.
Oh yeah, show some respect and at least threaten you with a loaded gun. It must be the multi-speed settings and the odd angles. People just don't think they need to. Man, I don't know.
I would waste the ammo on you.
If we really wanted to threaten you, sentient dildo, we would sentence you to being Brie Larson's. That would be how we would punish you, my friend.
We give that breeze.
That would be the greatest punishment of them all, to be Brie Larson for a day. I mean, does anyone actually love her?
Yeah, no, not so much.
This is a sincere question. Who does love her?
Oh god, the edited
edited
version of Captain Marvel would be faster than his girlfriend says he's in bed. Yeah. Bree strikes you more like a Rockford. I don't know, man. Bree is. I mean, she's got to know she's got an image problem, don't you think? Because she's been.
I honestly think she has no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Why else did she do this YouTube stuff that she started going into? And it
Okay, gentlemen, I have not been seeing Spaceballs because I'm busy right now at the moment seeing something else that I think you might recognize. Oh shit, the camera's too short. Can you recognize this?
Is that Blazing Saddles?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm watching it right now. I bought the DVD today.
Oh,
The Cats
yeah.
Cow Races.
Oh, good man. Good
My
man.
favorite comedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
So is this
We
your
did
first
it.
time seeing it?
Yeah, I'm just started since the stream. I started since the stream stopped a couple times. I'm around the 8 minutes.
You need to turn it off and finish it after the stream. It deserves your full attention, brother.
Absolutely.
I mean that, like for real.
I mean, this entire thing is just entertainment since I began.
Look at him, napping on the job.
I don't think that would cause a copyright issue, but just
No, it's just a couple seconds. But yeah, I'm gonna pause it for the time being.
Trust
Yeah,
me,
this is
it'll
incredibly
be.
funny.
There's so much subtle humor in that movie, Fenrir, that if you're trying to do the double task, man, you'll miss half the jokes. It's that good.
You'll miss a quarter of the jokes anyway. After give it 3 days and go back and watch it again. You'll find stuff you missed. And if you don't
Yes.
speak Yiddish, if you don't know any Yiddish, ask somebody.
Yes. Oh yeah, Mary
I
G
have
wants to know.
I have bought some of the Monty Pythons, but I have not seen them yet. I'll see them after Blazing Saddles. I'm going in order.
All right.
First, I begin with History of the World, then then a couple of other old movies I bought, then Gremlins 2, then Blazing Saddles, and after that I will see Spaceballs, and next, Monty Pythons. I have an order.
Man. Dude,
Are you gonna fit Young Frankenstein in there?
That's after the Monty Pythons.
Okay.
I think it makes sense for the
and if you can find it, Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yes. Which, by the way, has not been released on Blu-ray. Like, at all.
That's why I say if you can find it.
God, that's gonna be a battle.
It's a tough one to find, man, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah, it was a little later in Leslie Nielsen's career, but he was on the money in that one. Him and Mel Brooks were a great pair.
Want more to add to the list? Well, 6 more adds to the list. The Pink Panther.
Ooh, yes. Ooh. Peter Sellers, baby. Those Fenrir.
Are up there some of the best comedies.
They are some of the best, especially physical comedy, yes.
And so we're clear. We're not talking about the 2000s remakes.
Yeah, not Steve Martin.
Oh, God, no.
Peter Sellers.
And by the way, one of the best Clouseau movies is not a Pink Panther movie. It's called A Shot in the Dark. And it has the funniest scene, one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen with very, very careful camera positioning. I'm talking about Camp Sunshine for everybody that's seen the movie.
So is it kind of like the end scene in Austin Powers International Man of Mystery? Is that what you're saying, Redshirt?
I'm not familiar with that scene, but all I know is that there was always a very conveniently positioned piece of shrubbery.
At the end of Austin Powers, Elizabeth Hurley, like she stands up holding 2 coconuts in front of her, and
I've got my little booklet.
It's not focusing.
Yeah, the image is not focused. I mean, what the?
There it is.
I mean,
there we go.
Is that Adolf Hitler in a hot tub?
No. Peter Sellers
as Inspector Clouseau of the French Sûreté.
It was a mink.
Do you have a license for your minking?
Does your dog bite?
No. That is not my dog.
Yeah, oh, do you know what I love? Absolutely love that Fenrir, you are exploring these things that, like the rest of us, it's part of like our lives, right? These movies we're talking about are these amazing, wonderful memories from our younger years.
Yeah, and thanks for sharing these memories. I've been enjoying buying every single one of these. It's entertainment. It's actual entertainment.
Oh yeah, it's so cool seeing you experience them for the first time. And like, I know every time you come back and tell us how much you loved one of these movies, and you talk about it like we were going on about Smokey and the Bandit forever, it was like it like lets us relive our first time seeing those things, which is so cool.
Well, I am technically a child compared to all of you old timers. I'm not gonna lie there. You've been alive way longer than me.
Every one of us is old enough to be your father or more. That is true. Well, he's speaking for me and Redshirt. I know that for sure. The Ironcaster doesn't want to admit it, but
Not quite that old yet.
I don't know. You're probably around 35, 36, maybe.
okay, so he's not old enough to be your pops. All right. Yeah, Smokey and the Blue Waffles. That's the one that Robert wants you to check out.
Okay, do not bring
Rare.
that. Just for fuck's sake. When are you guys going to let that go?
Hey, 32 Flavor Flaves is hanging out. So,
Is one of those 32 flavors blue waffle?
you know, I'm going to defer on that one. It might be flavor 36. I don't know. So, yeah, Nick, thank you for stopping by, buddy. I hope you are enjoying your Easter time with your family, my friend. Nick sends his condolences that he couldn't make it to the panel tonight.
Happy Easter, Nick.
Lord Thoth says, run away,
Lord Thoth,
run
I'm
away.
not gonna be I am not going to be stupid enough to follow for their hypnotisms.
Yeah, dude, Sentient Dildo, I am 100% with you on this, man. I want to say my old man had me watch Holy Grail for the first time. I was probably 8, give or take. And yeah, I easily missed half the jokes, and I still couldn't stop laughing. I remember as kids, like my sister and I would act out the Black Knight scene because it was just so fucking funny, man. All right. Well, Thoth, enjoy your egg hunting, and I hope you and Lady Thoth have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening dinner, and enjoy your teleconference with the family, my friend. You know, Zoom calls for everybody, I guess.
You get a Zoom call, and you get a Zoom call, and you get a Zoom call.
Just one thing I have had far too many of is goddamn Zoom calls this year.
It was but a
Oh man. Brightest Day says legends say there's a 37th flavor of Nick Weiser.
And did anybody catch the reference to the Black Knight in Godzilla versus Kong?
No, I missed that.
When they're both fighting Mecha Godzilla, and Godzilla charges up the battle axe that Kong is holding with his fire, and then Kong starts lopping limbs off of Mecha Godzilla, and I went, "'Tis but a scratch." Come back! What are you gonna do? Bite me to death?
I'll bite your legs off.
I've had worse.
Dude, that was a good scene, man.
It was.
That last fight between Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, and Kong was excellent.
It was.
And dude, Godzilla charging up that scale that was Kong's axe was good. You know? Like
I thought the spinal cord coming out with Mecha Godzilla's head was a nice touch.
I was expecting Kong to try and take a bite.
I know. After he did that with those winged things in Hollow Earth earlier.
Yeah.
The flying sex snakes.
Yeah. Oh, Pablo, you're a good man. You're a good man.
For fuck's sake, Pablo.
What's the ratio of an Abby video containing Kathleen Kennedy?
Well, I don't know.
Fenrir, once you finally watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you will appreciate this comment far, far more.
Yes.
What's the maximum velocity of an unladen swallow?
European or African?
Well,
I don't know that. Godzilla casts elemental weapon on Kong's melee attack. Yes, exactly, man. Which is
Gave him a
funny.
+2 to his AC.
Yeah, I've been playing Neverwinter Nights 2 for the past few days. Great old D&D Forgotten Realms game. So it was, that was a timely comment. What's that?
So I was playing a little bit of the third one.
Okay.
The newest one.
Yeah.
In fact,
Good
like
old game.
right here, I got one of the big old box sets for the new Dungeon Dragon stuff. For like the Ravenloft. So I'm ready to get my gothic horror on.
Dude, I loved Ravenloft, man. That was my favorite realm in D&D back in the day. Yeah, it just all the horror, everything about it was it could make the stories so cool. You know?
Okay. Hey guys, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Hey gang, I got a question for you. Any of you ever seen a show called Harvey Birdman?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
Attorney at law. Yes, I've seen a little bit of this.
Yes, it was a good show, and just like many good shows before, well, I just sent a link in the private chat. Jake D, can you put that video on the screen? It's YouTube. It's a trailer for the
Let's see. I need to preview it before I bring it on.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yes, it is. It's pretty horrific.
Oh, this is Hanna-Barbera. I don't think I can play this one. Not without getting the stream struck.
Crap. Okay, then short story short, they brought back the universe of Harvey Birdman, killed one of its best characters, Phil Can 7, and made it female-centric with a lot of characters that look like they look like the poster child of every single woke gay premiere ever made in the history of the world.
I'm not going to play this. I just want to share a screenshot of it.
Yeah, you do that.
Oh,
yeah.
What the heck?
That's the screen. Whoa.
Holy shit.
I don't know what happened there.
Here, that was weird. Well, I was telling you we shouldn't be watching that shit, I think.
Yeah.
It is cursed. That show is cursed. I mean, literally every single one of the main characters looks like a more disturbing and idiotic version of the previous ones from the original show, which to me, I believe will have a superior form of comedy. I'm going to watch the premiere. It's in about a couple of minutes from now, but I honestly don't believe it's going to be any good as the original. I'm sorry. Well, nothing that is brought back from anything that was good in the past is good now.
Yeah, so
those are the main characters. 3 women that look like they have never gotten laid in their lives and that are pretty lonely and sad, and a gay dude who's probably tries too much.
I mean,
with the cat.
I'm not going to make a judgment on anything other than the fact that there's just nothing on this screen that's interesting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Judy used to be an interesting character, and now she seems like.
That picture is so bad.
I mean, look, Ironcaster, you've seen this, right? You've seen this just like me. I bet you $50 the green one is Mentok's daughter who hates her father out of some kind of crazy reason that is unnecessarily stupid.
Yeah,
how much you want?
Yeah.
Let's get an idea how bad
there, sentient dildo.
get an idea how bad this is. I'm willing to bet that they couldn't reboot Scooby-Doo these days.
Well, you see, the thing is, Scooby-Doo is still going.
Oh, is it still?
It still has a couple of shows. Movies and games. Yeah,
they don't have Casey Kasem anymore.
They had they had a good one from, I think it was like 2014,
Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah,
it was the best Scooby-Doo version ever. It took elements from every Hanna-Barbera and used them perfectly. It did amazing cases. It had the goofiness, yet it had serious horror and actual mystery like nothing ever done in the Scooby-Doo universe.
Yeah,
every episode was amazing.
Yeah, my kids found that just because I'd shown them old Scooby-Doo before, and they happened to run into Mystery Incorporated. I think it was a Cartoon Network joint, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It actually had like a really big story arc over, I think it was 3 seasons total. And like from episode 1 to the end of the series, there was a full and complete, actual story told. The thing was planned out to be this the whole time, and it was, the art was good, voices were good, the story was good. It was mature enough that an adult could appreciate it without being, so over the top that the kids missed it. I mean, it was a perfect blend of everything that you want from that kind of property. I liked it.
Yeah, they used everything: the Flintstones, Johnny Quest, Blue Falcon, even the crazy teens with the freaking ghosts and Captain Caveman. Everything was used in this. This was way better than the Scoob reboot.
Yeah, the Phantom. Yep. Everything was there, man, and it was great. And they did do one show a couple years ago where they tried to do some of that CalArts animation bullshit, and it didn't do well.
But Scooby-Doo.
I just so happen to have some of that handy.
What's new, Scooby-Doo?
Oh, look at that! What do you know?
Oh my
Christ!
Goodness!
It made it a season, and it didn't do well.
I thought partial animation from the 70s was bad, but that is bad. That makes me want to go back and watch original Scooby-Doo's compared to that thing.
What the hell is wrong with Velma's lips? I mean, really, look at that. What is wrong with Velma's lips here?
No one knows. Seriously, though, I mean, they literally canceled this after one season and made another immediate show with the old art style.
Yep.
Immediately. I mean, the show's not, I'm not going to say it's not good, but it's not exactly completely perfect. I mean, it's all pretty much just a bunch of guest stars and all that. Batman, Superman. Literally, they're just bringing as much to try to get attention and nostalgia.
What, you don't like the Sentia dildo?
Yes, he did, and so did Fred. Yeah, but compare this to what we got. Here is. Let me get up a good image here. Whoop. All right, here you go. So now, what you just saw there, in comparison to this art right here. So this is from that Mystery Incorporated show.
Ah, man, this brings me back.
I would watch this.
I mean, yeah, and they had this crazy theory creation that they were not the first mystery group. They literally had this ancient prophecy about numerous mystery groups that came before, and they had to deal with all kinds of the other ones. It was pretty great. They had fights. They literally had old mystery groups, a crazy evil bird scientist that looked like he came out of Batman or the Shadow comics. Seriously, and it was perfect.
Yeah, and they had this weird-ass character called Mr. E that was leading them around, helping them get
he was he's the imagination of what would happen if Shaggy went dark.
Yeah. But this, I mean, this is totally decent cartoon art right here. It's not overly crazy in terms of detail, so it's something that you can crank out a lot of this if this is kind of the level of the detail you're putting into the art. But it still looks good. It's got a feel where you're looking at this and saying, okay.
It's a little different, but I still see the characters in this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Thelma and Scooby are instantly recognizable from the old cartoons.
Yeah. The art style that we're looking at here is very reminiscent of the original cartoons.
Yep.
Little cleaned up, a little bit sharper, but it's Scooby-Doo as compared to whatever the fuck that was that Ironcaster shared.
Yes, it is. I mean, literally every mystery was a fucking adventure. I mean, here's a spoiler alert. We begin with them literally living in the city of Crystal Cove. They're having their crazy lives. There's this literally every single one of them is connected, even before they even started the adventure as friends. I mean, literally, Fred's father wasn't his father. He kidnapped him as a baby. I mean, seriously, I don't want to spoil anymore. Literally, go watch this show. It is amazing and worth the time.
It is. I mean, I know we're telling you Scooby-Doo is an awesome cartoon, but it really was. I mean, there was plot, there were interesting characters.
There was actual development of Scooby-Doo, of the gang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Geek Tripoli says it looks like the old times when the real monsters were the people fucked up by the insurance companies.
There were a few episodes where they went that way.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
Man. But it's we talk about people who own IPs doing shit to screw it up all the time. And these last two versions of Scooby-Doo that we just showed is a perfect example. And this is not that old. This is from, I want to say, like 2014, something like that. I could be slightly off, but that's close. And, you can still do this in a way that makes old fans like us happy and enjoy the product while bringing in new customers like my kids. My kids found this before I did, and I loved watching it with them. I'm a crusty old bastard, and I liked watching Scooby-Doo with my kids, man. That's what you got to go after.
Yeah. And if you guys are going to watch it, I suggest seriously, blow at least 2 days out of your agenda. Literally, buy a shit ton of food, lock yourself in your house, watch every single episode of every season, because everything is fucking connected up to the finale. Literally, you pay attention, you'll see every detail, everything.
My goodness. Wait, you mean even in a cartoon, it matters if you've got a reasonably well-written script and plot, Fenrir? What?
Yes, it fucking does.
Dude, so the guy who did Godzilla versus Kong is being tapped to do a Thundercats movie.
And I am enjoying that information.
So I don't know, what do you guys, I mean, I'm open to it. I hope he puts a little bit more thought into the plot.
Yeah, he is actually.
Than he did for Godzilla
he
Kong.
Said it. Yeah, apparently, as a kid, he used to write Thundercats scripts, so he's pretty ready on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it himself.
Yeah, what is plot? It's if you're Ruin Johnson, plot is very, very intentionally making sure you don't do anything that's going to make anybody happy and being very careful to destroy every single piece of the previous story. That's what plot is if your name is Ruin Johnson. But for the rest of us, usually it's connective tissue that flows from one part to the next in order to logically take a story through its steps from start to finish.
Hey, apparently, I have to go feed a cat.
Clearly. I'm sure Ironcaster will be back in a couple of minutes. Sometimes we learn the hard way that we are not always the ones in charge, and it is occasionally our furry friends.
Tell me about it.
I believe in that part.
Good shows. DOTA on Netflix. I am not familiar with that.
I have seen that. I wasn't familiar with the game till I saw this cartoon. I was skeptical, but my God, it is great. The animation's amazing. The magic is amazing. The art style. Dota is a watch, no doubt. Seriously, and the game is also good to go see. Go see the game.
I wrote it down. Coherent, engaging stories, madness, I say. I don't know why that's such a hard concept for some people to get these days, but fans do have a certain level of expectation, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
It's not unreasonable. There's certain things that you expect from a certain type of movie. And Godzilla, right? What do you want out of your Godzilla movie, Fenrir?
I want monsters brawling, destroying cities, beating the hell out of each other, with less humans, a good, yet somehow incoherent plot. Look, all I want is literally just a death battle to the match to see who the hell is the best monster. Anything else can go off the window for me.
Ironcaster, what do you want out of your Godzilla and Kong movies?
I want to see big monsters break. I want to see big monsters fighting each other and buildings getting crushed. That simple.
Redshirt, what do you expect out of a kaiju movie?
I expect to see monsters fighting. I expect to see buildings collapsing. I expect to see tanks be stepped on, and missiles have absolutely no effect in the military except for the ships getting completely trashed in the first battle between them. Didn't really happen, which I was disappointed in, although the jet fighters coming in for a strafing run and firing missiles was pretty cool. And then we didn't have any more of it, which I was disappointed with. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and Mike Beat makes the perfect observation here. So fans are forgiving as long as it feels like the product and it flows like the product. Amen.
It has to have soul.
Oh, yeah. What about, it could be, here's an example of that because we've talked about it to death. The Mandalorian. It felt like Star Wars. It flowed. Yeah, it was a little rocky at times, but it flowed like Star Wars. That was enough.
I mean, they copied a lot out of Japanese cinema. But let's be honest, what in America doesn't copy Japanese cinema? I mean, the city, the town they had to train to combat. I mean, that was Yonjibo.
Let's see. Sentient Dildo would like to see female doctor teaching experienced Navy officers about depth charges. Fair call out, Sentient Dildo. That's fair. The first battle with the ships was cool. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, at the end of it, though, Mike Beat really, really hits it perfectly, though. I mean, honestly, this, if there's one thing that major studio execs need to understand anytime they buy and start developing an existing IP. Okay. Now, you want to make a new IP, throw this shit out the window because it's totally unimportant because because when you create it new, you're setting this up to begin with, right? But anytime you're dealing with established IP, what Mike said here is exactly, it should be like on a placard, right above the writing room when they're putting scripts and shit together for any existing IP, is that it needs to feel like the product and it needs to flow like the product. If you can achieve just those two things, all that's saying is that you need to have the same heart as the IP in general. If you can do that, the fans are going to be cool. Hey, Star Wars
I mean,
Star Wars prequels. Yeah, the prequels, not great films. Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves. You can enjoy them all you like. Phantom Menace was okay. It had probably one of the greatest lightsaber duels between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul with the Duel of the Fates. All right, but it was, at best an okay movie. Attack of the Clones was not so good, and Revenge of the Sith was pretty decent. But overall, those prequels, not good films. But what were they? They were Star Wars. Okay. And nobody got crazy, fucking insane, massively divided fandom over the prequels. Right. It was, everybody knows they're not great films, but they were Star Wars. Nobody ever said they weren't Star Wars. Ever. So all you got to do is exactly what Mike Beat says right here, and you're never going to have the issue that we saw from TLJ, that you see from, anytime an IP starts going wildly off course.
Yep. No, it's not that hard a formula. The problem is they don't want to just follow a simple formula. They want to make it too complicated for their own reasons.
That is true, Redshirt. I mean, okay, how many of you have seen the new show Invincible?
I have been told to watch it, but I have not yet.
Okay, I've read the original comics. They were great. And the show is an amazing image of what would happen if you just follow the IP. It follows the comics greatly, and it brings new things that were not in the comics that are even more loved, because that's the shit the fans scream for in the comics, but never was done. I think it's going this well because Robert Kirkman is actually responsible for this, and he's the one who created the comic originally, so he actually has love for the story and the characters. You know what's funny? This has gender and race swappings, and I don't even care because it is done organically, good, and without throwing it to your face.
Well, my God, what a concept! So,
Yeah.
There were, another one where there were gender and race swaps that those issues didn't bug me. There was a hell of a lot that bothered me about 2020's The Stand, because it was one of the most god awful miniseries ever put on television. But it wasn't because of the gender and race swaps. Those were actually fine overall. The gender and race swap in and of itself is not the issue. It's what Mike Beat said. The heart and the soul still have to be there. Starbuck for the BSGR. Yeah. Oh.
Still on my list. I got to get to it.
Yeah. And Robert says it's almost like they should behave like a business.
Yeah. Where are the shareholders? Seriously, this whole
right.
We have this agenda
when this is being filmed.
I mean, fiduciary responsibility. What's that? If I were a shareholder in Disney right now, I'd have been called into that shareholders meeting, and I'd have been chomping at the bit.
Look, Robert, you share a name with the man, and you should know Kirkman is woke. That is true, but he loves money too. Let's not forget that he loves money. He is woke, but he will not drown himself into the stupidity. So yes, the show has vibes, but it does not consume it. It still has the heart there.
Yeah. So Ironcaster shared a Bounding into Comics link that it was talking about the decision by the filmmakers not to drop a post-credit stinger into Godzilla Kong. God bless you, John Trent. I love your website, but you've so many ads on the pages that I'm not going to show the article. but at the end of the day, what the director was talking about and what he said kind of at a high level is that they wanted to do one, but they're not 100% sure if they're going to be able to deliver on what they wanted to do as the post-credit stinger. So they didn't put it in there. And you know what? I appreciate that, because that means that the director is consciously thinking about what sort of expectations that he might be setting for the future. And he's not trying to stick his dick out there just to get it chopped off. If he's not going to be able to deliver, he doesn't want us to see it, which I respect the hell out of that.
Yep. Yeah, it's actually showing some respect for the audience. I mean, they don't want to, like you were saying, they don't want to go ahead and offer something that's not going to happen. I mean, how many of these movies have we seen now where they go in trying to set up a universe without even being able to deliver?
Yeah, and one of the things the director said was, in his mind, this thing very much sort of closed out a chapter in this whole MonsterVerse that they've got. And I mean, I'm certainly getting the impression that they don't know for sure if they're making more or not. I suspect with the box office numbers that it pulled that they will, because in 10 days they are in the black, which is pretty goddamn impressive. We were looking at this last night. It's got a production budget of about 160 million, and they're at over 285 million worldwide in 10 days. So they're in the black. They're making money on this puppy. I'm sure there's some kind of revenue coming in from HBO Max, sort of in a secondary fashion from subs and things like that. And there's definitely merchandising revenue coming in. So I don't see why you wouldn't make more.
You missed one cost, JD. What we don't know, and I mean, maybe you do, or maybe somebody here has. The production cost is one thing. The marketing expenditures is another, and it's got to cover both of those.
They usually estimate what 25, 30% of production costs for the marketing. Isn't that the typical estimate?
Like double.
Yeah. So
I would enjoy. Just imagine Godzilla and Kong in space fighting with helmets. I think Kong wins because he doesn't need to shoot lasers.
It would take care of Godzilla's nuclear breath. I mean, it would protect Kong from that, right?
That's true.
But yeah, so you figure somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 million is what this thing probably outlaid from Legendary and Warner Brothers to put this thing together and put it on the screens. So we're at 285 plus. I mean, they're in the black after 10 days in the middle of the pandemic. Well, in the closing portions of the pandemic. Well, who knows? We don't fucking know. We could be in the middle of it. We could be at the end.
By the way, I bit of breaking news for you guys.
Yep.
I seem to have found a preview of Space Kong.
Oh.
You see, it can work. It can work.
What'd you do? Did you drop Sputnik on the head of a guy in a gorilla suit? Is that what you did here? That looks kind of like Sputnik.
I can see you're part of the SCP Foundation, my friend.
Dude, this is a good comment, Mary G. She doesn't want him to rehire Millie Bobby Brown in the next Godzilla film because she thought that she was awful, just god awful. And I got to agree, man.
Yes.
She was all right in King of the Monsters, but she was terrible in this. Like, just awful. The only human character I really liked was V-Dub.
Yep.
Only one I like.
Okay, stop trying to provoke.
I like the little girl, and I like the little girl, and I like V-Dub.
Yeah. Oh, the little sign language girl.
Yes, the little deaf girl.
Yeah,
I just didn't want her to determine the end of the movie. But
yeah, her. She actually.
Yeah,
that's a
pretty
fair
weird.
point.
When did Kong learn sign language?
Well,
he was hanging out with Coco the gorilla.
Yeah, the mom scientist lady asked the little girl about that. Yeah, she has, hey, why didn't you tell me he could do this? And she mentioned that she'd been trying to teach Kong sign. So sometime before the movie, her and the little girl both have been trying to teach Kong sign. I mean, that didn't even remotely trouble me. They even actually tried to address it.
Yes, Ironcaster, Robot Monster. I've seen that. I've seen bits of that. I've never subjected myself to the movie, but I heard the description that Robot Monster was a gorilla in a space helmet, and I'm like, oh god. So I've finally seen it now. Thank you.
In space, Naomi Protomolecule Nagata wins. Yeah. Good to see you, Elvis. Man, it is always nice when the Brigadier joins us. It is good to see you, my friend. Been a little while since I've seen your name in the chat, brother. So I think it's because of the lack of marketing for new material being fairly low. They probably got a good deal on the marketing budgets. I wouldn't doubt that, Mike. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Is that a click from Gary and Doomcock's Exozone Ironcaster? Godzillionaire is here.
He hasn't been doing any live streams. He's recording footage.
Yeah, there you go, man. It was the director's fault. Young actors need guidance. I don't know, Sentient Dildo, because the little deaf girl did well. And although if you think about it, I'd have to look, but I imagine she probably is legit deaf and probably only speaks through sign, or at least for the majority, because she certainly seemed to know what she was doing. And because she was only speaking with sign, she had to be a lot more expressive with her body language, with her facial expressions, what have you. So, I mean, in a way, it kind of lends itself to requiring a better performance, don't you think?
Mike Beaton, the chat says that she is deaf.
She is deaf. Okay, cool. I had a feeling she was.
Yeah, and I loved one thing. They didn't give this girl special powers like they gave to that kid with ADHD in the Predator reboot, because apparently every kid with ADHD or dyslexia is secretly half Predator and has powers. Somehow. I mean, where's the sense in that?
Kong learned sign language from Caesar and Planet of the Apes.
I'm ready for the Godzilla versus Space Gorilla here. Robot Monster versus Godzilla.
Well, Fenrir, unless you can explain to me why, I mean, I know why at the end after they destroyed Mechagodzilla, why Kong literally buried the hatchet, because the little girl had told him Godzilla is not the enemy. Mechagodzilla is. So that was when Kong got back up, got it back in the fight, and helped Godzilla take out Mechagodzilla. But then they face off again. Kong slams down the battle axe. So if it weren't her special power, why did Godzilla decide to walk straight into the ocean and leave? Because that made no sense to me.
Godzilla, as king of the monsters, simply wants the other titans to bend the knee, as it were. I mean, right? And so
that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Because otherwise I was like, where the heck did this come from?
Yeah, he just wants to be the alpha, and if you tell him he's the alpha and he's in charge, he's cool with you. We saw that in King of the Monsters.
Okay,
So I that felt pretty normal. Kong putting the axe down is Kong saying,
no mas.
Yeah, you the king.
No mas. Yeah, because I haven't seen King of the Monsters, so that left me guessing.
Interestingly, at 48.5 million, Godzilla Kong is going to beat King of the Monsters for its opening weekend by about $1 million.
Wow.
And that's in a COVID restriction world.
Yeah.
So I mean that's something, man.
JT, that's why I said that it's got a shot at being the highest grossing film this year, because it's doing well compared to films of its type in the current environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Geek Tropology, the good guy was a white guy.
That was and he had a character arc and development.
Yeah, the only one in the movie to actually get one, if I reckon.
I don't know. V-Dub had a bit of an arc. I'm not going to let that go until I get on a stream with V-Dub to get him to respond to it.
I want to be there. I want to be for that one.
The audiences are hungry. They are.
They really got the conspiracy guy angle on perfect, because I remember someone in our old chat saying, because they even got the type of phone he uses was a perfect one for anyone who doesn't want the government to listen on. That was you, right, Ironcaster?
Oh yeah, I was pointing out the fact that the cell phone that our conspiracy guy Bernie V-Dub was using is an older style flip phone, and after a certain point, it became mandatory that cell phones have like a GPS in them, and the guy's using an older style flip phone from that doesn't have that in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good detail.
It does stop the tracking, man, and there is nothing wrong with that, brothers.
If you've been V-Dub, he's always worried about the CIA getting people.
I used to write software for the cellular industry. They've been able to triangulate from cell towers since the analog days.
Yeah.
They can put you in a couple of blocks. They just can't put you in 100 yards.
Robert, you are correct. Invincible has at least a hot ginger, which is a rare thing in modern television. And trust me, she's only going to keep getting hotter if they follow the book straight.
They didn't wipe out the ginger. They went against the ginger side trend. That makes me happy.
Triggered.
Yeah.
Triggered.
Yeah, because the fact that she's a ginger does a lot into her story. I mean, it doesn't have much into her story, but her design is just iconic.
So you're saying
Really
she's
good.
soulless?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, she will become part. She will become part cyborg technically. So
Yeah, the government always listens. It does. That is true. But it's much easier when you carry around a tracking device with you at all times.
Yep. If I'm going to listen to anyone on that, it's certainly going to be Elvis.
The Brigadier knows what he's talking about, man. That is for damn sure. That is for damn sure. Oh, man. So what do you think? Is Mortal Kombat is coming out in like 10 days. We got about 10 days to Mortal Kombat.
Okay, I have a way. Okay, JD, you haven't seen Invincible yet. Well, okay, if we put a fight scene in this without the sound, could it get copyrighted?
Hail, Father.
Maybe. It depends on what it is that we're showing. Father Christopher Miller, good to see you, brother. Vegas bound now or Vegas bound in August, Father? I'm curious. So we'll see. Right now I am planning to be in Vegas in August with the Fandom Menace, and I hope to see each and every one of you guys there. But the only thing that would keep me, about the only thing that would keep me away from it would be if I happen to be moving at the time. Dad, I don't want to risk this one, Fenrir. It's too new. Damn it! They can get copyright from the video stream only, and that is brand stinking new. So Amazon stuff, they watch you. So
crap. I mean, I
don't want to risk taking the stream. I don't want to risk taking the stream down.
This fight scene alone could have shown you the mood this show's gonna go on.
Last Godzilla that he watched had Walter White in a fission reactor. Yeah, and it was. I was talking about that last night with some friends. Is Bryan Cranston? That guy's range is incredible. Yeah. He's the dad and Malcolm in the middle. He's Walter White. He's the crazy old scientist in the 2014 Godzilla. That dude can play anything.
He even played in Babylon 5.
He even played a hack old superhero in a cartoon. It's not a very known one. You really have to look for it to find it.
Power Rangers?
No, it's Super Mansion. Look for it.
What was he in Babylon 5, Ironcaster?
He was one of the Rangers in Babylon 5.
Oh, shit. Oh. Wow.
I'll send you the clip for later.
Was that like season 4 type time frame?
3 or 4, right in there.
Okay, it's been a while since I've watched all the way back through B5. I'm only about 4 or 5 episodes in my rewatch right now, so I didn't realize Cranston was in that. Dude, he can do anything, man. Him and Giancarlo Esposito, you throw those two guys together in something that could make some screen magic. But yeah, Mike Beats
he looks great in it. I'll just pull up a screen cap of him.
Yeah, pull up a still real quick. So Mike Beat thinks Mortal Kombat's going to have a solid opening weekend, and depending on how good, could maintain. Oh wow, that is Cranston. Hot damn, sure as hell. A young Cranston, but that is him. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think, man? Are you guys with Mike on how Mortal Kombat's going to perform? What are you thinking, Redshirt?
I think Mortal Kombat is going to do well, but I'm not sure whether it's going to have the staying power. I think it's a more specialized audience than, say, what we've just been talking about. I mean, it's certainly not in my wheelhouse. So I think you're going to have more of the folks who are really focused on it, interested in going to see it. I'm wondering whether the normies are going to be pulled into that movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the original Mortal Kombat movie did okay.
I don't think they will.
Back in the day, in terms of receipts at the time, it wasn't a blockbuster, but it wasn't a total bust. And I know fans of the franchise are jazzed up because of that Red Band trailer, and I'm included. I'm a casual fan of the franchise. Like Fenrir, you love Mortal Kombat way more than I do. And I'm interested. I want to see this show. And I'm looking forward to it. So I think there's a few things coming together, and this helped Godzilla at the box office this weekend too, and it's going to help Mortal Kombat in 2 weeks. And that is, what else is new out there of a high profile? Like right now,
Yeah,
is there
I don't
anything
think-
else
look-
high profile?
Okay, here's a prediction for this Mortal Kombat movie. Shao Kahn's not going to show up in any of the fights, but I bet he's going to appear in some kind of post-credit scene.
Wait, say that
That
again?
is my word. Okay, Shao Kahn is not going to show up in any of the fights in this movie, or probably the scenes. He'll probably be mentioned, but won't show up. I bet they're going to show at least his body up in the post-credit scene to teaser his appearance in the future.
Could be.
Yeah, look, I mean, just pulling up some information on the on the '95 Mortal Kombat movie, had a budget of $18 million and wound up ultimately pulling in $128 million. So
it was successful. To Mike Beat's point, it did good enough to get a sequel.
Yep.
Of course, and we don't talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Okay, Jake
Poor
B,
Johnny
there's something in
Cage.
the private chat I need you to share into the comments. I need to get out there.
Which one you got is a link
I was
to a
talking
video.
another.
Nah, that's my channel. I need to get the freaking subs. I want to break the freaking
Ow.
record. I only have a week. I only got a freaking week left.
I can do that.
I only got a freaking week left.
Okay, so Fenrir is very excited about the possibility of bringing in more subs without having produced any content whatsoever. So he's really
Already at
wants
70
promises
folks.
do not flood you with videos. We'll put it that
I'm
way.
at 70.
He will not blow up your notifications, so that's good. Although I will tell you, Fenrir, I think that you're shooting at an unrealistic goal, because Lady Gravemaster had over 1,000 subs before she put out her first video.
I thought it was 100. What the hell?
Oh,
Nah.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, Lady Gravemaster hit 1,000 before she dropped her first video.
Okay, but at least I bet 100 will be the top one for any male YouTuber ever.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Cranston was the ship and crew of the White Star, and that he was commanding. Good, man. Dude, I totally forgot Cranston was in B5. And I've watched through the series twice over the years. Said,
Sentient dildo, I'm not blackmailing anyone. I'm asking. I'm not blackmailing anyone. It's not like I'm going to your house and pointing an invisible gun on you.
Shame. Shame.
One thing, I don't have a little bell.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to imagine you walking naked through the streets of King's Landing, Fenrir. I'm just
What?
not an image I need.
No one needs. What the fuck? That only works good if it's a woman. That only works when it's a female, not a dude. No, it's.
Brightest Day says he should stop making content and he'll get more subs. You know what? No, shout out to Brightest Day, guys. If you haven't checked him out, he has just started putting content together. He, unsurprisingly from his avatar there, the dude's a big Green Lantern fan, and he's just getting his first videos out. Definitely
Brightest
throw
Day,
him
what
a
the
sub
hell? I thought
if you haven't.
I I thought we talked about doing a stream one day, Brightest Day, about the Green Lantern show coming out. About all the bullshit that we're going to do to every single lantern out there. Except for
I had to
Hal,
make a
because
little,
I can't actually touch him.
because I love showing them off. I had to bring in a little addition. Devastator had to get a Sinestro Core ring.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
I love you,
Yeah, it makes some
Devastator,
sense.
man.
Oh,
I love it.
I love him. He's my big green
Yeah.
son.
Yeah, it's really sad. All the lanterns, all the good ones, are going to be destroyed. Well, except for Hal, but I think they're going to keep him for something worse.
Hmm.
He's a straight white dude, so yeah, they're going to destroy him somehow.
I mean, as far as I know, they're not producing any Lantern content for DC on the big screen right now. So, I mean, I know they're doing all kinds of weird shit in the books right now, but I mean, for me, what's on the screen is going to be what the DCEU is, and we really haven't seen anything. So now, don't get me wrong, JJ, after having just canceled the New Gods and the Trench, is certainly not got good plans for the DCEU, because I don't trust that guy at all. But
He is a cultural locust.
yeah, and he's on to what, his fourth franchise to kill now.
Let's see, Star Trek, Star Wars, DC. There's something else?
Well, he killed his own project and lost.
Yeah, I would call it. That's not.
Okay,
He
yeah.
emerged from it.
Hey guys,
He emerged
can you?
from
One
it
of
like the
you?
little poisonous moth he is to sit to franchises, and burrowed his way into one where he laid his eggs, poisoned the host, and abandoned to go consume and destroy another franchise. He is a cultural locust.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hey Jake D, put the Discord link up in the chat. It's for Brightest Day to join. Crazy plans I have for the future.
Okay, yeah. Actually, that was to your server. Did you want Brightest Day's server or yours?
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine. It's to invite anyone who wants to join. Mainly, I'm just giving out this one to Geek Topology, Brightest Day, and Sentient Dildo.
Okay, all right. So, I
And
don't know,
maybe
so what do you-
Clobbering Time. Depends who's onto this thing.
yeah. So I don't know. So Jar Jar in DC, guys. I was at first I was very encouraged when I heard that the Woke Gods was canceled. I didn't even know they were working on the Trench, right? And then we hear it was canceled because Ava DuVernay is trash. She is a horrible person, as evidenced on that dumpster fire called Twitter. Day after day, year after year, she's a terrible person. And so I'm not losing any fucking sleep over the fact that she's gone and the Woke Gods is canceled. But
Oh my god,
but
dude!
it was canceled by JJ.
Was it JJ?
JJ's in charge. $500 million contract. The more I think about it, the more I feel like maybe it's not the good sign it initially felt like. You know what I mean?
Look, I
Wasn't woken up.
I smiled. I smiled. Look. Here's some. Look, I'm a huge Jack Kirby fan from the comics. I've loved Fort Worlds for many years of my life. It has gotten me through some lots of shit. I'm just saying, Fort World was amazing. It's sad that we can't save the Eternals the same way, because but look, I bet $50,000. I've bet $50 that High Father would have become High Mother. Orion, since he's a redhead and we know was producing this, they would have made him black. Big Barda would have cheated on Mr. Miracle, which would have been a pain in the ass, and probably had an affair with Orion himself, the BBC of the new DC universe. If we get it, what I mean. So yeah, and I bet Mr. Miracle, since Tom King was on this, bet $50 he was gonna drive Mr. Miracle to hide in a closet, dressed as Superman, as he watched Orion and Big Barda doing it, and then make Orion a sandwich. We all know he was gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
And
Everyone keeps getting his name wrong.
top
It's
it
Jar
all
Jar.
off, just to top it all off, he was probably gonna have Granny Goodness Me Too Dark Side. That did happen in the comics.
Yeah. look, DuVernay and King are trash. Am I upset that the Woke
Human
Gods was
garbage.
canceled? Of course, I'm not upset. It was going to be total shit, just like you said, Venner. But
Yeah, human
but
garbage.
it wasn't canceled because of reasons that for taking things in a good direction. It was canceled because Jar Jar is taking over the DC film universe, right? I mean, so what are we going to get instead? Could be fucking worse. You know, I mean, we know Matt Reeves' The Batman is on Earth 2, and Flashpoint is somehow going to tie shit together. And Jar Jar's involved in all of this shit. Anything that doesn't have his footprints on it isn't being produced, and it's not being thrown out. So, I mean, how good of a news is it really that Woke Gods got canceled? What do you think, Ironcaster?
I mean, the only downside was that was the trench. That was the only thing I actually had any interest in, because
No.
after seeing that on Aquaman, it's like, yeah, I wanted to see more of this, like Game of Thrones, like political, like there was like some really cool stuff there, and that's what the only thing of value.
Yeah, and the guy who was going to work on that movie has a great style on that. He was going to do also a mix of horror in it, and he's pretty good in that element. An underwater horror thing.
Sounds intriguing to me. I mean, for real, I'm not shitting you. That sounds like it's got potential. But you know, you throw that, so that is thrown out, and it sounds interesting. Woke Gods, I had no interest in whatsoever. And we got JJ stepping in. I mean, what is it? Jar Jar likes to reset things when he comes into these franchises that he's killing, right? I mean, to your point, Ironcaster, he's a cultural locust, which I think is exactly the right description of this guy. He comes in and he just kind of like eats it from the inside out and leaves it as a hollow shell.
I think the big question is going to be, how long will he stay?
$500 million worth, whatever that is.
Well, then again, I suppose he turned down a bigger offer from Apple because he wants to be the Kevin Feige of something.
Yeah. And what is Apple working on?
Asimov?
Are they? I mean,
yes,
yeah,
Obama.
I think so.
I know that
heard a rumor,
that Apple TV is out there, but I don't know what they're producing.
I heard this rumor that Apple's planning to buy Valiant Comics to try to create some kind of cinematic or televised universe there.
Could be.
If not,
they're too damn late to the show though, man. Because I mean, realistically, we are probably past the peak of comic book movies as
absolutely,
town, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, Liger fans hit it on the nose. This is what you're getting out of Jar Jar for the DCEU. And why do we know that? Because they just announced it, right? Ta-Nehisi Coates, right, in the new Superman movie.
Let me just tell you, Ta-Nehisi Coates is the greatest shitbag human being I have ever had the misfortune of reading his fucking books in my life. He is a living pain in the ass for every respectable black person out there, because everything he fucking does is pretty much say, I'm a victim, you're racist, everything's fucking racist. There can't be good symbolisms of America or any form of public, for the public, or form of government love. He is a fucking piece of shit. Fuck Ta-Nehisi Coates up straight to fucking hell. Gentlemen, I am sick of saying this. Fuck that guy.
I mean, I'm not even going to give. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm not going to watch that fucking movie if it's even remotely like what we're expecting. I just won't. And you know, to some of the people in the chat, they've mentioned, hey, on the plus side, Jar Jar's saving us money because we know what not to go spend it on.
Right. Well, JJ's been doing that for me for years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that Star Trek, the second Star Trek movie that he did with the whole sleight of hand bullshit, claiming Cumberbatch wasn't Khan and all that. It was the whole movie was like just this sort of weird retelling almost of the original Wrath of Khan, which was just so fucking stupid.
Especially considering what you're trying to retell. You're only going after the best Star Trek movie probably that's ever been made.
Probably the only thing Star Trek Darth Jar Jar there ever saw.
That's entirely possible.
I'm sure he Googled popular Star Trek and Wrath of Khan came up.
There you go. That would explain it.
Yeah, exactly. The Islington girl. He'll stay however long it takes to burn the barrel of $500 million of cash to ash. Yes, Apple did dodge a bullet there, Sentient Dildo. Although, I mean, if you're Apple and you're trying to put together content that's going to make people subscribe to your streaming service that nobody's fucking subscribed, does anybody here on the panel have Apple TV streaming?
No.
I associate Apple with their products. So, and I have an Android, so I have no reason to pick it up at all.
Fenrir?
It's the cell phones.
Yeah, can I?
No, I do not have one of them.
If you have Apple streaming service for the TV, just drop a 1 in the chat. I'm curious if anybody here even has it.
Liger Fan has Apple TV.
Liger Fan does? Okay.
Yep.
I would be curious if anyone else has it, honestly. Liger Fan is about the only person I've met that does. So, I mean, the whole, okay, Apple dodged a bullet by not tossing the guy $500+ million. Did they? I mean, yes and no, because that obviously would have been money down the fucking trash can because nobody subscribes to Apple TV.
Well, and Liger Fan got it because he got a new iPhone
because it's a part of his
bundled
phone.
with it.
See, there you go.
Oh, now you know they're desperate.
Yeah. So, apparently nobody's got Apple TV. So
Nobody cares.
Similar to, does anybody have the Peacock streaming service?
I have not heard of that. That is a thing.
It's the NBC Universal streaming system. It's called Peacock. And there's a Peacock.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I don't have that.
Ironcaster?
Nope.
Redshirt?
No way.
Okay, give me a P in the chat if you got Peacock. I'm curious to see if anybody here has got it. And there's a free version where you can watch a limited amount of content. They did have one thing that I was interested in seeing, and that was it was Brave New World. But other than that, I don't have any interest in any of the content that they've got. So okay, Robert's got it. And
yeah, but the only thing they have coming that I have any interest in is a Beavis and Butthead movie.
That's true.
Beavis and Butthead is gonna.
Brightest Day says yo ho ho.
Who here remembers Daria?
Mm-hmm.
Daria? You mean like the MTV Beavis and Butthead spinoff?
Yeah, pretty much. Who remembers her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who remembers her? Yeah.
I don't.
I don't believe they could do a modern movie of Daria in these times. They would either turn her lesbian or trans or something to explain why she was always so fucking sad. They would never be able to make her a good modern interpretation of the character.
I don't think they're proposing it. They're just talking about doing a Beavis and Butthead movie.
They're going to run out of ideas.
I did hear something about King of the Hill.
Oh, yeah, they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back so it can be more with the modern times, a version like that. We all know where this is going to go.
Yeah. I mean, you can't woke up Beavis and Butthead. I mean, you can't. because it's not Beavis. If you even attempt to go woke in Beavis and Butthead, I mean, at least when you go woke in like other properties, you can still see how, even though it's like poorly done and crappy, that it's, you know, it's at least still the IP to an extent. But I mean,
look, the comical element of the element of Beavis and Butthead is that they're two idiots who just want to relax, make fun of everyone, eat some chips, and get some teepee for their bumhole. Just that.
I need teepee for my bunghole.
Beavis and Wokehead Geek Tropology says, yeah. The foundation should be good. I think we may be at a point. So, I want to combine what Elvis is saying here with something that the Islington girl mentioned. So she's talking about how she's still got Amazon Prime and she's still got Netflix, which she almost never watches. You know, on that topic, I haven't turned on my Netflix for a while. I really need to stop paying for that, honestly. And I think that's what a lot of these streaming services count on, right? So, okay, Foundation is sounding like it might be good on Apple TV. More than one person in the chat has mentioned that. And if I hear good things about it, that would be enough for me to go ahead and sub to watch the show. And then I think that they're counting on people doing that. And then, like I've done with my Netflix, not remembered to shut the service off.
I mean, the biggest problem I have with subbing to any of these things lately is it takes away from my YouTube time. It's just I'm always watching streams.
True.
I mean, hell, I only picked Amazon back up because I needed something delivered fast, and I needed that 2-day shipping.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me, I order more than enough stuff on Amazon that, I mean, I signed up to Prime because of the shipping benefits back in the day.
Me too.
And then they added free video to it eventually at some point. I think it was around for a year before I even knew it was there.
Yeah. I stayed because you talk about adding the video. I stayed because I was a huge fan of Top Gear, and when those three moved over and the producer moved over to Amazon to do the grand tour, I was like, well, I'm not losing Amazon Prime now.
Okay, just another Redshirt. I'm seeing your comment here. You're saying they can't woke King of the Hill? I mean, what do you mean about that, man? They're woken out fine. Everything there is out there, they're woken fine, man. You just know it's going to come up.
They can only woke King of the Hill if they move it to Austin.
They're going to wokeify it. They're going to find a way to destroy it.
I mean, Ray Ron makes a good point here, man. Why
I mean,
pay for these services when he can get daily content here on YouTube for free? Keeps him happy and entertained. Streaming services can't compete. That's fair, man. Amazon I won't cancel because the shipping and all the other stuff that I use for completely other reasons. Because just like Redshirt, I signed up for that way before it was a video service.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just another Redshirt. King of the Hill already had the ultimate woke Karen. They had Peggy Hill.
Oh, I know, but she didn't destroy the story. That's the point. She was the character that she was the obligatory Karen. There's one in every neighborhood, sort of thing.
Yeah.
which was fine. I mean, she was the guys all they balanced her. That's the thing. They balanced her.
All right,
Very
guys.
true.
I mean, she was a psychopath. She was.
I've got to be up at 2 a.m. and
all right.
All right.
Well, hey, Ironcaster, you know what? Let's go ahead and wrap up. I mean, really kind of gone into everything I wanted to roll into anyway for the stream. We've been going for about 2 hours, man. But Fenrir, any final words before we head out, my brother?
Well, just like Lager fans saying out here, the only good thing Amazon has at the moment is either Invincible or The Boys. So, yeah, not pretty much a lot to see on the streaming channels. And to everyone who's at the chat, subscribe to my freaking channel. I'm on the 70s. I want to make it to 100. I'm not threatening. I'm not emotionally blackmailing. I'm just asking subscribe to the freaking channel. Or maybe a wolf will show up in your nightmares. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying.
Well, okay then. All right, Ironcaster, any final thoughts, brother?
Oh, well, I do think there is some good content on Amazon. I've been enjoying a lot of old stuff. This week I was just watching some old Charlie Chaplin films on HBO Max.
Hey.
I know it's the backlogs on these streaming services that do give them value. And if Disney Plus wants to keep purging their stuff and putting locks and restrictions on it, then you know what? There are enough other options out there that I don't have to keep watching your stuff. And with the amount of times they've gone and published and printed it and put it on DVDs, that it's not too hard to find. Or you know, go to Barbados, or
Tortuga, you mean?
Yeah, Tortuga, Barbados, Geek Tropology's backyard.
There you go. All right. Wait. You good? The hub? Why are you going to the hub, man?
Axel Braun.
Oh,
Redshirt, man. Final thoughts. Anything you want to plug? Anything you got coming up you want to chat about, brother?
Oh, if you are not subscribed to all three of these gentlemen, you definitely need to. If only to make Fenrir happy.
Well, subscribe to 3 of us.
Ironcaster, I put the links to Ironcaster and Fenrir in the chat. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button before you leave. Make sure you're still subscribed to Jake D and hit that bell to get notifications, even though YouTube is still very unreliable on its notifications, it seems. Join Minds. I advertise all the streams that I wrench on Minds. I put links in there with the starting times. So if YouTube doesn't let you know, Minds will let you know, and you can find it there. You can, if you're not on, like me, you're not on Twitter. But yep, I wrench for a lot of streams. Gary, Culture Casino, obviously Jake D, and these guys are all more entertaining than most of what's on television these days. I agree with that.
I have set up an account on Minds, but I don't log into it often enough yet. And, to your point, though, about notifications being a problem, Mike Beat mentioned that he got here because of you dropping the link on Minds, Redshirt. So thank you.
Yes, and I appreciate knowing that, Mike, because I don't know whether anybody actually shows up because of that. I've got a few subscribers on Minds, and I don't know if any of them watch YouTube. Some of them, I know some of them do.
I have that.
All right. So kind of final things coming up this week. Rajesh Taylor and I are going to be talking about Tropic Thunder on Tuesday. So I hope you all will tune in and check that out. To me, Tropic Thunder is a modern comedy classic, among the best of the 21st century, and just so much fucking fun the way that it just kind of, at every trope out there. And the actors, the story, they don't give a fuck, man. And they just have fun. That movie is so, in many ways, just in your face, politically incorrect. We're going to be rolling at 6 p.m. Central Time, U.S.
That movie alone showed me that Robert Downey Jr. loves to have fun and doesn't give a fuck.
Yes. Yeah, because Tropic Thunder is just one of the best movies made in the past, I don't know, maybe 30 years. And we're going to talk about it because it's a badass, fun movie. And if you do not own that, especially on physical media, you should really look into that one real soon. It's coming up Tuesday night. And I think I will also I may be joining Comics Division on Yelling at Parked Cars this week, which could be a lot of fun. We'll see if we can make that work out. But there's been some chatting back and forth to see if we could make that happen. So I'm looking forward to maybe being there, which would be cool. Other than that, of course, Howling About Entertainment every Sunday evening at 5 p.m. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good evening.